views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
And good morning, everybody, and welcome to Open, the one and only show that opens up the Bronx and the world to you. I'm your host, the Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS, and we got a great show lined up for you today. Coming up on today's show, we'll preview a summit designed to raise awareness and education of poverty and what we can do to make a big difference. And then plus, we'll take a look at a fun seasonal event for a great cause. Then we'll explore the natural beauty of our borough and the blooming parks. You got to see it. After that, discover how and where you can mediate or meditate through yoga right here in the Bronx. And Thanksgiving is upon us, and we'll find out what one group is doing this year to give back. And finally, the 2016 Johnny Pacheco Jazz Festival is approaching, and we'll get a taste of this vibrant event. So you won't want to miss it. Stay tuned. All this and more is headed your way because we are now open. Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm your host, the Dr. Bob Lee, and you're watching Open, the one and only interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. Stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. And leading off, last week our nation voted, and Donald Trump was elected to serve as the 45th President of the United States, leaving many New Yorkers questioning what's going to happen within the next 4 years. Javier Gomez spoke with a number of elected officials from our state and city. And they were at the 2016 Somos El Futuros conference. Let's take a look, see what they said.
The first thing we have to do is reassure people that a President Trump cannot just pull a lever and start deporting people. It's very hard for him to actually execute on a lot of these things. He said a lot of things during the campaign. He said a lot of things that were contradictory.
One of the things that we've tried to communicate to everyone is don't agonize, organize, and that we've got an opportunity now to understand what the obstacles are in front of us.
We are going to do everything to stand united and to continue to affirm our values. We are going to protect all of what we have put forth.
We're going to analyze and psychoanalyze this election for many years to come, right? And the fact is that Donald Trump, as a candidate, hurt, insulted, and offended a lot of communities, namely the Latino community. We gotta hope that President Donald Trump will be different than candidate Donald Trump.
Thank you, Javier. Tune into BronxNet throughout the week, and we'll give you more updates on Somos El Futuros. On the local front, on November the 18th, a South Bronx organizing summit. Well, it's going to be on child poverty, and it's going to take place, and you don't want to miss it. Joining us with more information, we have Eddie Borges, visiting fellow, Metropolitan College of New York. We welcome you to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, there's a lot of things happening in New York City with your program and everything, but first tell us about your program and a little bit about you.
Well, I've been a reporter in New York City for over 30 years. I started my career at the Daily News, the Village Voice, short time in the Miami Herald, but the issue I've covered is the politics of the culture of poverty. And as you know, people talk about it all the time. The South Bronx is home of the richest sports franchise in the country and the poorest congressional district in the U.S. since the 1950s. And underlying all the problems we face in the South Bronx is this childhood poverty. And we were hoping, and we need to focus on that issue to try to fix it.
It's a disease. So at this summer, what will people learn?
Well, we have the president of the American Academy of Pediatrics, Dr. Bernard Dreyer, who he's been head of the emergency room in Bellevue for many years, talking about, if we, children who are born, live and die in this concentrated poverty are unlikely to ever develop the emotional, cognitive, and social capacity to rise out of it. So we really need to work on those early years to really help them get out of that.
And when did this start?
Well, I've been thinking about putting this together for a while. I started organizing this about a month and a half ago, actually, before the election. And because the hope was in a Hillary Clinton presidency, we could really expand services in a big way that we need. You know, more more Head Start, more child care, more healthy family programs.
So has the election of Donald Trump changed the agenda?
Well, Wednesday, just like a lot of people, I had a major stress headache. But by the next day, it was kind of what can we do with, and the thing is, we're trying to figure, our new agenda is we have to identify what programs we have in the Bronx and in New York City that we need to protect. Just like we need to protect our rights, we need to protect programs and services, and by organizing, we want to connect what we're doing in the Bronx with the marches we had in the city this past weekend.
So you don't think you'll get the funding necessary? You have the funding for the year moving forward.
We have the first year because the federal budget cycle ends starts in the middle of the year. So we're good through June. But then once the Trump administration puts together their budget, we're going to be in trouble. It's like when I was an official in the Spitzer administration and we had the fiscal, the bubble broke on the housing. And when I was at state agency, we were looking under rocks to pay for child care programs. Counties were cutting sanitation services. We're going to be in trouble.
So you think that really that's going to take place? The funding will no longer exist?
They're already talking about tax cuts. And what are they going to cut? They're not going, they're going to cut the programs that the people in our neighborhoods need to survive. Not just to live, but to survive.
What can we do to continue your funding? I mean, there's community-based organizations and nonprofits.
Well,
can you tap into those?
I think we're in a better place in New York than other places. You know, our Constitution is pre-federal. It was made before the U.S. Constitution. And things like abortion are protected in New York in our Constitution. But we still get a large chunk of block grants from the federal government. And at least, this is the first step in organizing. What do we need to protect? And set our priorities, then hit Albany, City Hall, Albany, and work with the legislators, get them motivated, and then figure out how to act within the administration. Because they haven't even really talked about agencies like HHS or education down in D.C. They're focused on the other agencies. But look at look at environment. He wants to hire a guy who doesn't believe in climate change. It's 2016. It could be 1950 in Washington.
So you're still traumatized, as a lot of other people are. What do you think people are going to learn about this summit? And do you think the people who are going to come will continue to embrace it and you'll get the funding needed to move forward?
I think so. There are things specifically we can do in New York. One of our priorities at the summit is to discuss raise the age. In New York State, we're one of 2 states in the country that prosecute 16 and 17-year-olds as adults. And so what we want to do is raise the age of criminal responsibility so that those kids can go into the juvenile justice system. Because the city, for example, has identified over $300 million they want to put into a facility in the South Bronx. So if we raise the age, that'll be $300 million we could put into services. So this is what it means to be creative. There's money here, we want to put it there, so we have to help the government see that better investments in the South Bronx will improve outcomes for children.
Okay, what's the date of the summit again?
Friday, November 18th at Metropolitan College, the hub at MCNY.
And what are people going to learn?
They're going to hear from Dr. Dreyer. They're going to hear from some of the top community advocates in the city of New York in what programs we need to prioritize in New York City, and then more importantly, what role they can play to protect and make their community stronger.
I like it. All right.
Thank you very much.
And you just put all of this together?
I've been doing this for, I'm motivated.
You're motivated.
I've always put things together kind of quickly. It was like you. I was in news. It's just like we don't have time to fool around. We got deadlines. Crime happens early in the day. We got to file by 5 o'clock. It's just like some people said, "Oh, we need months to put together a summit." I said, "What do you mean months?" In college, I did this type of stuff in a week. So now I have more resources.
Yeah, and upon finding out that you have a president that is going to go in another direction, you had to try to scramble and find a way to meet another deadline.
Look how
in
many-
another direction.
I've already gotten, last night I was on the phone with people because after this I'm organizing a little meeting for people to meet the executive director at the New York Civil Liberties Union at the college. Metropolitan College is this new campus on 149th Street and Brook Avenue. It's the 3rd Avenue stop on the 2 and the 5, and they have a giant community room that they're offering free to community groups. So Donna's going to be able to meet with people and talk to them about issues of concern.
Gorgeous.
Thank you so much.
Eddie Borges, give him a big hand, everybody.
Thanks a lot.
Visiting fellow Metropolitan College of New York. One more time before we go, is there a number or website where we can go for more information?
There's a bit.ly, I think they're putting it on the Cryon, but you can also call me at 914-POVERTY.
914-POVERTY.
P-O-V-E-R-T-Y. It's an easy number to remember.
Thank you, Eddie. All right, we've got to take a quick break right here, but stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Open next.
Problems of the past to overcome together the challenges of the future. Presenting the first MC, the 21st century Vitruvian man with the message, Grandmaster Mary.
You gotta learn your body, pace yourself, and have fun. So let's go have fun. Let's go do it.
The tricky thing about shoulders, your shoulders is a 3-tier muscle. You have your front delts, you have your rear delts, and you have your mid delts. So when you're working out your shoulders properly, you have to do 3 different exercises.
It's wonderful being able to compete with a lot of these young guys from all over the world. It's important to stay in shape.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Welcome back. I'm your host, the Dr. Bob Lee. On December the 3rd, the 8th annual Hot Cocoa Run. I'm going to be there, hot cocoa, and if it's cold outside, I will be there. It's going to take place for a great cause. Joining us for a preview, we have Andrea Luongo and Chris Curtin. We welcome you guys to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love those shirts.
Thanks.
Shut up and run. Let's go.
That's what it's all about.
Yes. What is the Mac Angels and how did it start?
Mac Angels is a 501c nonprofit that was started in 2010 in memory of a very close childhood friend of mine, Claire Gormley Collier, who was diagnosed with ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, in 2004, and she succumbed to the disease in 2009. And in her memory, we started Mac Angels. Again, it's a 501c3 nonprofit that supports ALS patients and their families as they journey through their journey with ALS.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about ALS and what people are going through, experiencing.
ALS is also known as amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. It's a motor neuron disease. And upon diagnosis, people are usually given a life expectancy from 2 to 5 years until they succumb from the disease. And it's a progressive disease that affects all of your motor neurons, and eventually you get trapped in your own body. The only thing that is not affected is your mind. Your mind is as sharp as it was the day you got diagnosed.
So you can still communicate, but
you might lose your ability to actually speak. So you use something that's called an eye gaze technology, which is a computer that you use with your eyes, eye tracking.
Yeah, I've seen it with a lot of quadriplegics who can't speak. There was a person that just had an operation and lost their vocal box, but they're using that technology.
Yes.
So you have this run. What does cocoa have to do with it?
Well, I came up with the idea about 8 years ago. Phil Gormley, it was Claire's brother, and he's a very close friend of mine, an athlete. We had done endurance athletics for quite some time together. So we came up with the Hot Cocoa Run to raise money for Mac Angels and spread awareness and support the charity. This year we are launching a large campaign. We're looking to raise almost $12,000 to $15,000, and we're selling a piece of the finish line. You have the option of sponsoring different size snowflakes that'll be on display at the race. You know, the small ones, $125 contribution, gets your logo in the center of the snowflake, or you can put it in memory or honor of someone you might know who's battling the disease. The larger ones are $250. No reasonable offers will be turned down. Every single penny goes to the charity.
All right, you know what? You can take that camera right there and just let people know what you want.
Come on out and support this race. It's always the first Saturday in December. It's in New Rochelle, New York. It's held right out of my backyard. You start and finish there.
Grassroots.
So we can go to your house for the cocoa.
That's where it is.
Absolutely.
The cocoa's the best cocoa
there
you can
you
find
go.
in all of Westchester.
It's cooked over.
It's the start and finish line, right?
Absolutely. We cook it in a cast iron cauldron over an open fire. So it's like an event you will never see, and you really are helping phenomenal cause.
And we'll bring some chestnuts.
Absolutely.
We
turn nothing down.
Christmas is right around the corner too. So this is a wonderful cause. When did you start it? You started it. You were
The
mentioning
foundation we started in 2010. It was Claire's legacy. She had said, you know, once I'm not here anymore, what you did for me, go out and do it for other families.
So she knew. She said, I'm going to put my stamp. This is what I want you to do.
Well, there's a real survivorship gap between getting your diagnosis from an ALS clinic or a neurologist. Basically, they tell you to get your affairs in order, and you have about 2 to 5 years to live, and we'll see you. You come back in 3 months, and we're going to monitor your progression every 3 months. But no one really tells you what you're going to need or what services are out there for ALS families, how to kind of foreshadow what lies ahead. And with Mac Angels, our main mission is staying ahead of the change, because with ALS, it's so unpredictable. One day you might be walking, the next day you might not be able to walk. One day you might be able to raise a fork to your mouth to feed yourself, another day you might not be able to. One day you might be able to swallow, a glass of water, and the next day you're choking on it. So we try to really navigate families through their journey with ALS.
Do you have people with ALS working with you?
That's a good question. We actually, our service area, I'm the services director of the organization. I also was a founding board member for the organization. We cover all the 5 boroughs. We cover all of Fairfield County, lower parts of New Jersey. We try to help people as far away as we can, and all the money that we raise is raised through private donations. We have annual fundraisers. We're doing the fundraiser with Andrea. We do a bunch of other fundraisers. But there's a real need to help this community. And Mac Angels is going to stay in business until we find a cure for this disease, which unfortunately is not going to happen for a long time.
I can see a camper parked out by your house at the starting line. And
bring it, Bob, bring it.
Yeah,
You're welcome. Bring it.
Have some visions there. But one more time, where can people donate monies and help support what you're doing?
Absolutely. You could go to macangels.org, or you could go to hotcocorun@gmail.com. macangels.org or hotcocorun@gmail.com.
All right, there you go. Give them a big round of applause, everybody. We appreciate
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the work that you're doing, and thank you for creating the awareness that we do have a situation that needs to be addressed.
Appreciate it.
That's for sure.
All right.
I take your word for coming there.
All right. All right, we got to take a quick break right here, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Open next.
Charlie's Bar and Kitchen is a new American restaurant in the South Bronx. We have a seasonal menu, fresh ingredients that change over the seasons depending on what's available. We try and get to local farmers markets as much as we can. Keep the food as fresh as possible. The building is a beautiful historic piano factory. It is a landmark building. I think there's a sense of that when you feel and walk into the space. It has a very warm, cozy kind of environment, candlelit, intimate mood, and the exposed bricks and the wall. The fact that it's an old, charming landmark building from the late 1800s, I think adds to our character. So anybody who comes into the restaurant normally doesn't notice immediately why the place is called Charlie's. And so the theme of the place being Charlie's, no apostrophe, Charlie's plural, is more than one Charlie. So it becomes blatantly obvious towards the end when you're faced against this mural up against the wall of all these Charlies. But it's all about famous Charlies. So, yeah, Charlie's Bar and Kitchen, I mean, the name itself, bar and kitchen. So we started off the idea that we were prominently a bar. But some people do see us now more as a kitchen. They come here more to dine. It's a new American restaurant with slightly southern influences. Because of the seasonal menu, we get to change up the ingredients, which gives us the ability to change up the menu. As a location, I think we've captured a good kind of audience, a local audience, a Bronx audience who now looking for something a little different, come over to come see us.
Welcome back. On November the 19th, the Bronx is blooming, not burning, but blooming. And we'll be out at Crotona Park. And joining us with more details, we have founder Jennifer Beaugrand. We welcome you to the show.
Thank you very much for having us.
Bronx is blooming, and you have helped.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
So we have been around for about 5 years now. We were established in 2011, and we work with communities to restore and beautify city parks. So we are partnering this weekend, as always, with the New York City Parks Department. This weekend we are working at Crotona Park specifically, and we'll be meeting at 10:30 in the amphitheater at Crotona Park, which is in the center of the park in the northeast corner of the park. And what we do is we, as I said, work with communities to restore and beautify city parks. So what that means is we have 3 main focal points. Those are youth leadership development, environmental stewardship, and community building. So in terms of youth leadership development, we work with Bronx high school and college students specifically. And we have a program called the Program for Leaders Advancing Their Community's Environment, also known as the PLACE program. So we are connecting to a sense of place and a sense of an environment in their local communities in a specific park.
So youngsters get a chance, students get a chance to come out and volunteer and get a taste of what's happening in the Bronx, other than, you know, maybe the concrete jungle that some of us live in?
Yes, some people would say that. I think we have amazing parks. They are often, they do not often have the resources that they need to be as amazing as they could be. And so what we do is we work with students in the community to actually care for their community green spaces. In the summer, we specifically have a program where we work with high school students who are assigned to one park, and they have a college mentor, a Bronx college mentor. So they are somebody from the Bronx who's currently in college, and they are leading them through how to take care of an environmental problem affecting the Bronx. And what we're doing is we use the train the trainer model. So first we teach our mentors.
Train the trainer.
Yep, so we use these college age mentors. We give them the basic skills and we talk to them about the environmental problem that they are facing. We've done a lot of work around stormwater management. It's the biggest water quality issue in New York City. So what we're doing is we're trying to have our students help absorb some of the water to keep it from polluting our rivers.
How do they do that?
They
SpongeBob! No.
Exactly. Something like that. So they do it through a variety of ways. One thing we do is we do park tree stewardship. So we are caring for specifically a lot of the young trees that are newly planted in parks.
And that will absorb a lot of that water.
Well, Yes, it will help absorb. I mean, the large trees will help to absorb a lot of that water. But also we're we are removing invasives. So plants that have come in and have been brought in that don't play well with others pretty much. They take over, right? And so it's fine to have things that are not from here, but you don't want it to be an overarching, like this plant takes over this space and nothing else can grow. And so what we do—
Everything is jockeying for position, huh?
That is always the case, right? And so our students learn about which plants are important to remove, and then they help to remove them. And then what we do is our students work really hard, and one thing they're doing is they're shoveling a lot of mulch. And so what we're doing is we're mulching gardens to help use that mulch to absorb some of the water, and we make nice, really, really beautiful rings, and there are no pictures, but we make these lovely rings around our young trees, which helps to protect them from getting damaged by accident as well as on purpose, right?
But what are those rings for? What
so the
purpose
mulch
does it serve?
ring helps absorb that water that we were talking about. It also
So you have the
helps—
tree here, but
Yep, so you have the tree
you
there.
do an outside perimeter.
Yep, and we do a nice little ring around the tree with mulch. And what we do
So it
is
keeps the water inside the circle.
Yeah, it helps. Well, it helps the water the mulch slowly percolates the water, and so it comes down slower, because when the water comes from the sky, it comes really fast a lot of the time, especially in our summer rainstorms. And so what they're doing is they're helping to slow that water down and have it absorb into the soil.
Very good.
But the big thing that our students do is that they turn the lessons that they've learned, our high school students, they turn those around, and they're expected to lead volunteer groups to do this work. And so this weekend, we will have some of our high school as well as some of our college place leaders leading groups of volunteers in Crotona.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, but this weekend we're partnering with New York Parks as usual and New York Roadrunners, as well as other community partners in the neighborhood. Go ahead.
Excellent. You spoke of resources. What are some of the resources that you need to help beautify these parks?
I think a big one is just time and continuity. So right now we have worked in about 17 parks throughout the Bronx. So this weekend we'll be working in Crotona, but we work in parks throughout the Bronx, and we partner with all different organizations. We partner with nonprofits and companies and school groups, and so we're bringing people out, and I think the biggest resource is time and energy put in. So the Bronx is Blooming on an annual basis brings over 1,600 volunteers to our parks, and we bring the equivalent of 3 full-time staff to Bronx parks each year.
Yes. So Saturday, November 19th.
Saturday, November 19th. I'm not
We're all
sure if
gonna
we're
get
going to have
together.
the best hot chocolate that they will have, but we will have snacks.
Well, we can invite them along.
Exactly. We will
You
have
guys ready to
snacks,
come to
and
the
it'll
park?
be
You come and promote it.
there we go, and it'll be a wonderful day out.
Yeah.
We are going to be meeting at the amphitheater again in Crotona Park at 10:30.
Bring the hot chocolate truck, though.
Yes, we would love the hot chocolate truck to come and join us.
So you'll be meeting?
We'll be meeting at 10:30 at the Crotona Park Amphitheater. And we will be there until about 1, and we will be working to help care for Crotona Park's trees and shrubs and flowers, and we will be again planting some lovely spring blooming flowers as well.
Thank you for helping to beautify our communities and our parks. Thank you. Give her a big hand, everybody. Yes. Jennifer Bogrand, founder director of The Bronx is Blooming. Thank you so much.
Of course, thank you.
All right, we're going to take a quick, short break right here, but up next we'll learn about meditation. Breathe in, breathe out, and where you can do yoga right here in your neighborhood. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
So we're a farm-to-table cafe and espresso bar. We opened in June of 2015. We started off more as a coffee shop, and we've really expanded into a full restaurant. We offer breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We source locally from as many local farms and farm co-ops as we can. Also, all of our dairy and eggs and even flour and other grains are all sourced locally. So our effort is really to bring a high quality, sustainable food to the Bronx, and we were kind of concerned it wasn't something that had been done here before, but people have really responded and have really, been grateful and appreciative to have such high quality, healthy options available to them. I think that the sense of community and sort of like there's a face. I live here in the Bronx, a lot of our staff do, and live in the neighborhood, and we really aim to be a community restaurant. Come give Moss a try.
It's not always easy being a dad.
Do you have panda asthma too? Does that run in the family? This is the home of the most priceless kung fu artifacts.
But when you make an effort,
Dad, we're not supposed to touch anything. Oh, sorry. Go along, son.
it's always worth it.
Whoa, faster!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
I am gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
Our next guest joins us for a look at yoga, the importance of it, and what they have coming up. We welcome Muchat Shamsut Gyamprem Kaur to the show.
Excellent.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us about what you're doing. Tell us about some of the wonderful things you do. I know you go in, and you got the breathing thing going on. You get into yoga and everything, but tell us about the wonderful things that you're doing, because I feel so calm and mellow right about now.
Oh, okay. Well, I am owner of Enlight Yoga and Health, which is a Kundalini yoga and meditation. Yes, Kundalini yoga and meditation studio.
How's that different from other?
Well, there are many forms of yoga. I believe there are over 22. In Kundalini yoga, we do a lot of focusing on the breath, mantra, in concert with the exercises. Yeah, so that I believe is the biggest difference. A lot of other yogic forms focus on the very physical. We're very much into a holistic. In fact, there are different aspects of all yogic forms in Kundalini yoga.
So why would one want to get involved in yoga? To correct things that are going on in their lives, or to go in and get things out of your mind? What's the main purpose?
Both of those things, actually. The fundamental purpose of Kundalini yoga is to address the negative thought patterns and eliminate them. So,
well, a lot of people need you around this time. A lot of people are still traumatized, no matter who they went for in the election.
Okay. Yeah, that's a concern.
Yes.
These days. But what we're doing, what my studio is doing, is we're sponsoring a community meditation for inner peace and healing. We'd like to get members of the community in who have not experienced yoga or meditation. And a lot of people seem to be, a lot of people in the immediate community seem to be more open to learning how to meditate. And then hopefully we will bring them into the yogic aspect of it. So at this, yes, I'm sure, go ahead.
What are some of the benefits of meditation so people can come and join you?
Well, you know, with all that is going on in the world and with all that is going on in our lives, most of all, we have what is called monkey mind. Our thoughts jump from subject to subject, and a lot of us don't give our minds a rest. Like the physical body, the mind has to rest. So meditation is a conduit for resting of the mind. It also gives one an opportunity to just calm oneself, to go within, and to be peaceful, to find inner peace. So that affects everything. That can affect the rest of the day. When you start your day with meditation, it sets the tone for the rest of the day.
I feel nice and relaxed. Can you give us like the first steps of somebody wanting to get involved in yoga?
Well, one of the most important things is breath. A lot of people are not breathing properly. We started out breathing properly when we were born. We fill our abdomens with air, and then it comes all the way up to the chest. And if you've ever noticed a newborn baby, they're breathing into the abdomen, but we forget to do that when life experiences impact us.
So it's more or less shallow
We begin
breathing.
to, very shallow breathing, we begin to contract rather than expand. So one of the breaths I would like to teach everyone right now, it's a very calming breath, and it's called long, deep breathing. And all you do is you very slowly inhale, and you fill your abdomen with air. And you continue to inhale, and you expand the lower rib cage. Continue. Expand the diaphragm, fill the lungs with air, expand the upper rib cage. Bring that air all the way into the clavicle. And then you slowly exhale. It's a very mechanical, very slow breath, very calming, very relaxing. Helps to clarify the mind.
Body and soul.
That's correct. So we're hoping that the community will come out and experience this meditation event. They will be taught how to breathe properly and different breathing techniques for different occasions or specifics.
Do you have classes for people of all levels?
Yes.
People who are just beginning, people young, old, in between?
Well, one of the things about Kundalini Yoga is that you can go at your own pace. All ability levels are welcome.
So when do we start?
Well, the meditation, the community meditation, will take place on the 16th, which is Wednesday, from 6:30 to 8 p.m. And it's going to be, I've partnered up with the Beacon program at the middle school there, 142. So it's at 3750 Baychester Avenue at the Beacon 142. Cari Garcia is the program director there. And she has so graciously opened up her space so that this event can take place.
Okay. All right. And anybody can get involved in it?
Anyone can get involved. It's free. And it's a part of the Borough President Ruben Diaz Jr.'s Not Number 62 initiative, you know, which, you know, as you probably know, we're last on the list in terms of health. And
that's getting better.
Looking to change that. It is getting better, and I believe that everyone can play a part in changing things. And Enlight Yoga and Health is doing this.
And along with the yoga, you have to eat well, sleep well, do all those things?
All of those things.
Healthy eating, healthy living?
All of those things. But one step at a time, one step at a time. We take baby steps, and the next thing you know, we're yogis and yoginis.
All right, the yogis in the house. Where can we go for more information?
You can go to my website, which is www.enlightyogaandhealth.com.
So you help me say it. Mushat, Yemshat, Jiemprem, Kur.
Okay, close.
Close? Say
Close
it.
enough. Mutshat, Shimsut, Gemprem, Kur.
Mushat,
Shimsut,
Simshet,
Gemprem,
Gemprem,
Kur.
Kur.
Yes.
Say it 5 times real fast. Thank you so much for joining us. Love you, thank you. All right, we have to take a quick break right here, but stay tuned. We'll be back with more Open next.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
And I can't change, even if I try, even if I wanted to. My love, she keeps me warm. 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 She keeps me warm.
We are neighbors and best friends.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.
And welcome back. You know, on November the 24th, Little Stars, no, Lil, L-I-L, Stars of the Future, they're going to be holding a Thanksgiving harvest.
Yes.
Joining us for a preview of this and more, we have director Michelle Heath.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing great, and yourself?
Welcome to the show. First time on the show?
Yeah.
All right, there you go. Let's welcome her. Give her a big hand, everybody.
I'm a
Yes.
newbie. Yeah, thanks.
All right. Tell us about what you do.
Little Stars of the Future is an after-school program in the community.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a director for the organization for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
So what we decided to do, because a lot of the children in the community are displaced, and a lot of families, they come from shelters and stuff like that. So I wanted to give quality care to all. It doesn't matter what your level of, your family should be receiving quality child care. So that's part of it. And then been an activist in the community for 48 years, so that's telling my age. So basically,
you can't tell though. I don't know.
Yeah,
you can't quite tell.
Yeah, I'm every bit of 48, and I enjoy what I do, especially for my community, bringing out what needs to be done as far as bridging the gap with communication and letting the community know, as far as new families that come in, that there's somebody that really cares about them and that you're not you don't belong part of. So Little Stars decided to do Thanksgiving harvest.
Oh.
Yeah, so on Thanksgiving Day, we'll be feeding at least maybe 200 people, along with Morris Heights Health Clinic. So yes, you know Mr. Von Lay. Yes, okay. So I'm working with him.
Big up to the guys. Hey, Mr. Von.
I'm working with Morris Heights, and I do a lot of work with them as far as their AIDS research and stuff like that. And to feed the hungry. It's very important. You have a lot of families that are hungry in the community. Yes. So I'm working also with Power, Praise, and Deliverance, Udina Jackson and Pastor Albert Jackson. We give away food on 181 Creston Avenue. Yeah. So I get food from them and give it to my family. So when my children leave the after-school center once a week, they're getting a bag of groceries to take home.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, because many of the families, I don't know if my children are eating afterwards after they leave me.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that, you know, they're hungry and they don't want to go out and tell, you know, they want to break that pride right there. But, you know, there's a lot of people that really, really, really need.
Yeah, it's immense. It's great. I've even taken some food and given to other pantries that don't give as much fresh food as we're getting on the west side. So the east side is underserved as far as even the pantries are concerned. So I'm taking that, giving food out on my weekends and so forth. And the parents are very grateful because a lot of them don't know where their next meals are coming from.
Yeah, and you have joined a whole cast of wonderful people who are giving this Thanksgiving and beyond,
Yes.
not just for Thanksgiving.
Yes,
You know, we
yes,
have to
yeah.
continue to do this.
Yes, yes.
Steve Harvey is getting together with the crew. You know, he works with WBLS, and we'll be giving away turkeys. My foundation is going to be giving away turkeys. Oh, I said it. I got to order them. Or order more. Every year we give away turkeys and we go to different neighborhoods. So we'll be out there with you every step of the way.
Well, that's good. But in my area, it's a lot of shelters.
Yeah.
So a lot of families can't cook. So that's why we've decided to serve cooked food to the families because a lot of them don't have the access to cook a dinner.
Are you looking for volunteers to come out and help with that?
Anyone that wants to come out, you can volunteer. We should never turn anyone away that wants to help. But we do have volunteers, my staff, because I have 3 daycares within that area that are coming out. I have family and friends, but the more the merrier. Morris Heights will be assistant. But I'm more than quite sure with the masses, it's going to be a larger number. We set out for 200, but I think that it's going to be a lot more.
That's great. You go. You know, you get by giving. It's one of the paradoxes of life.
My
you get,
thing
comes
is
back
that
around in a circle, and you get.
I mean, my thing is that if you wait for that, then you're waiting for something. I'm not there. I'm here to give of what I can. So for now, that's just what we do.
There you go. And the other thing is that, how can you assure people that your nursery, because a lot, is the right place to bring their child? Because a lot of people, they drop off their child to see them as a babysitting service. How can you tell people and assure people that your place is the right place to drop off your child?
Well, one thing is that we're not a holding facility. That's a jail. And I restrict any television access to whatever. We have academics that we have. That's first and foremost, education is key. The after-school program, we have teachers that come from the Board of Ed that work with us. We have boxing, we have physical fitness, we have media consultant that works with us as well, and we have arts and craft. So we also give dinner. We serve them dinner. Like I said, education is important. I also go and visit you in school to see how you're doing.
All right.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Give her a big hand, everybody. Michelle Heath,
Thank
director, Little Stars of the Future.
Thank you.
Little Stars, thank you for
so
working with
much.
our young people and helping them to become successful little stars.
Yeah, it's important.
Say it again?
It's important.
It's very important. Thank you. And we have to take a quick break right here, but when we return, we'll get a preview of the 2016 Johnny Pacheco Jazz Festival. Ooh, stay tuned.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
From November the 16th, November the 19th, you got to be there at Lehman College. They're going to host their annual Johnny Pacheco Jazz Festival. Oh, it's going to be great. If you want to hear this, you got to come and check it out. Joining us to share more about this exciting event is Alan Molnar, producer and artistic director. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing this wonderful experience with us. Tell us about Johnny Pacheco. Tell us about the festival.
Well, you know, Johnny Pacheco, of course, is one of the greatest of all times. You know, his work with Fania All-Stars, his work as an artist, as an educator, all of those things are unparalleled. And so it's a great honor for us to be able to name our jazz festival for Johnny Pacheco.
I remember traveling around throughout the city, and there's a place, Fania All-Stars, they had a record company there. And you go there and they give you tons of records. I had 45s and 12 inches and albums.
There's nothing
so
like
I have a wall of records.
And there's nothing like a turntable, is there?
Oh, wow. Got to have a turntable.
So
somebody said, what's a turntable?
Well, you know, it's really exciting. All the music that's going to be happening here over the next few days. We have bands coming from all over the city, and middle school bands, high school bands, college bands, professionals. We have one band video conferencing in from Kansas State University.
Oh, wow.
And so they're going to perform on Thursday afternoon. And there will be clinicians working with the band, so they'll offer some tips and some suggestions and good feedback from their perspective when they listen to the student musicians perform. So that's going to be really exciting.
So this is going on for a few days, right?
It is. It begins Wednesday of this week at 10 a.m. The daytime sessions run from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. And then that's Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then on Thursday and Friday evenings at 7:30, we have professional performers as part of the festival. Thursday, we have the Wilson Chembo Cornell Quintet, which is going to be amazing contemporary Latin jazz. And then there's a duo, a vibraphone piano duo coming all the way from Brazil to perform at our festival, and they are amazing, duo claves. And then Friday evening, we have the Lehman College Student Jazz Ensemble made up of undergrads from our program who will be performing that evening live on BronxNet, live on the web stream. And our guest artists are two incredible alto sax players on the scene here in New York, Alejandro Aviles and Nathan Childers. And one of the best jazz vibraphonists of all time, Mike Manieri, will be performing with us as well.
Oh boy, you're going to be in for it.
Absolutely.
Now, it's going to be on the campus of Lehman College.
That's correct.
It's going to be in the theater there?
In the Studio Theater. And so additionally, we will be streaming live. And if you go to lehman.edu/jazzfeststream, you'll be able to pick up the stream there and through BronxNet as well.
How did this get started? This is a great idea, you know. You have people chiming in from all over the country, and you're streaming all over the place, and you have a 3-day festival.
Well, before I came to Lehman College, I had a project called the Alive Project, and it was a video conferencing project where I would work with musicians, music educators, literally from all over the world, over video conferencing. Did we speak about that here before? We may well have.
I spoke to somebody about doing that, or maybe you mentioned it, maybe you were here and you mentioned it.
I think I may have on a recent visit.
Yes.
And so the whole virtual potential was something I wanted to explore. Then when I came here and had the opportunity to start this festival, I thought rather than making it just a traditional jazz festival, I mean, you think about the Fania All-Stars, you think about Johnny Pacheco, this is innovation. Musical innovation. So we needed a festival that reflected that. So I created the festival to be what I call a hybrid brick and mortar and, oh, there they are, that's Chembo's group. A brick and mortar and virtual festival. And so we have web streaming, but we have interactive sessions as well, such as the live performance coming from KSU. I've had clinicians come in to work live with the bands here at the festival from as far away as Hong Kong. And so, you know, it's midnight in Hong Kong and 12 noon here, and they're giving a critique of the band. So that really has been very exciting. And of course, the web streaming that, you know, we're partnered with BronxNet and with the Multimedia Center here at Lehman. So that's a really exciting opportunity for us to explore live television. You know, I grew up in the era of Ed Sullivan, and so that vibe of live TV was really exciting. Never thought I'd get to experience it, but it's you know, it's an exciting thing that brings a certain vibe to the whole experience for all of the students who are coming from their home schools here to get to be on TV and to get to be on a live web stream. So it's really very exciting for us.
You're in live right now.
We are. Yes.
Where do we go to check out this this web streaming if we can't can't physically make it here?
Well, lehman.edu/jazzfeststream will take you to the streaming page. And if you go to lehman.edu/jazzfest, that'll take you to the home page for the festival, which will give you the schedule as well as the URL for the stream.
And we'll probably be covering it right here on BronxNet also.
Correct, yes.
So how does it feel to bring, what's it like having students and professionals come together?
It's exciting. You know, the professionals that we bring in are entirely dedicated to jazz education and to bringing their skills and their abilities to the younger generation of players. And for example, someone like Mike Banieri, our guest on Friday night, he's a vibraphonist who has played with Billie Holiday, Buddy Rich, Paul McCartney, Dire Straits. I mean, it goes on and on. Pop, jazz, you know, traditional jazz, you name it, he's done it.
Buddy Rich, one of the greatest drummers in the world.
Oh, absolutely. And he was a 20-year-old kid when he was playing with Buddy.
Wow.
You know, so he's gone through that whole experience of the music profession that our students, our music students, will be going through. And, you know, things have changed in the music business, but, you know, certain artists, Mike being one of them, have been able to diversify their skills and talents so much that they become great role models to what our students need to do today. So that's a real great experience for them.
And it's open to the public, of course.
Open and free to the public. Limit the seating, so get there early.
Get there early. Where can we go for more information on that?
www.lehman.edu/jazzfest.
Alan Molnar, give him a big round of applause, everybody. Producer and artistic director, Johnny Pacheco, Jazz Festival. It's coming your way. It starts
Wednesday the 16th at 10 a.m.
All right, and you go to where for more information again?
www.lehman.edu/jazzfest.
Thank you very much, Alan.
You're welcome.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today's show. Can you sing a song while we go out?
I think we've done enough.
We'll come to the Jazz Festival.
Come to the Jazz Festival.
I'd like to thank all of our guests for joining us, and thank you all viewers for tuning in and checking it out. If you missed any part of today's show, you can tune into the recablecast of Open at 5 and 10 p.m. or watch anytime on the web at BronxNet.org, or you can catch an all-new episode Wednesday at 10 a.m. with our host, Darren Jaime. For all of us here at BronxNet, have a great and enjoyable day, and I'll catch you Thursday, November the 17th at the Make the Grade Awards at Terrace on the Park. It's going to be great. Go to makethegrade.org. And I'll catch you on the radio, too, right after Quiet Storm with Lenny Green. Always remember this: what you are is God's gift to you, and what you make of yourself is your gift to God. So choose your choice and let your choice control the chooser. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee. Catch you another day, another way.